Well, hey there. I'm Mike Alley. Welcome to the Concert Spot Live. It's another Wednesday, which means we're here. Hey, I hope that your week's been going well so far with everything that's been going on. We're here to bring a little bright spot, hopefully, to your week. And we've got a great guest coming up, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. Of course, what we do is put on concerts most of the time. Right now, while we're kind of off the road, we're doing some other fun things like this. But we'd love for you to follow us on all of our socials, all the social media, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, YouTube. We're there at theconcertspot.com. You can find us on all of those socials. So we'd love for you to follow us and click in there. You can also head over to our website at theconcertspot.com. And there you can also click on the insider page and you can become an insider. And that means cool things like getting pre-sale passwords and other fun things before everybody else. It gets you into shows first and faster than anybody else. So check that out when you've got a few minutes as well. And my guest today, I get to welcome from I Am They, is Matt Hein. Matt, welcome. It's so great to have you with us.
Hey! Oh man, it's my pleasure, Mike. Thank you so much for having me.
Well,
it's so awesome to see you again, man.
Oh, it's good to see you too. During this time, it's good to see anybody, right?
Human life. I know you exist.
That's it. And we get to get on things like this and stream and see people and kind of connect. But we do want to thank you guys for being here. You guys, I Am They was one of the first groups that was out there doing a bunch of live stream concerts when all this stuff with the coronavirus happened. And I mean, you guys were on top of it. I mean, what did you end up doing? Like 25 shows or something. I mean, I know it wasn't that many, but it was a lot of shows.
Yeah, we tried to just basically, so I'm actually wearing, and this was completely unplanned. Obviously, I didn't know you were going to be asking me this question, but in fact, you played a video of us rocking on top of a building. We were playing our music video for My Feet Are on the Rock. And I was going to say, like, people are not going to think that I changed clothes since that video. I think I'm wearing the same thing besides this t-shirt that's underneath, but this was our t-shirt that we put together for this online tour that you're talking about. During COVID, we did this living room worship tour, and we called it Home Together. And it was something brand new for us. Like, we got completely, the rug pulled out from under us, just like everybody else. I guess we were on a headliner tour in February. We found out the tour was canceled, got to come home, and we started putting our minds together on how can we keep doing ministry and how can we reach people where they're at. And it ended up just being a really cool thing. Like you said, we got to do a number of different shows. We got to do this cool interactive experience where, at a regular concert, we don't have the opportunity always to just connect with people during the show and talk back and forth. But this was a really cool interactive way we got to do that. And then also even connect with people on the other side of the globe who, this is the first time in my lifetime that, a pandemic, a thing that I'm experiencing on my side of the world, somebody else is experiencing the same kind of thing on their side of the world. And so it was just a cool unifier for us, even as the body of Christ, I think, to just come together and sing worship songs together, be in the quote living room, like hanging out, talking, encouraging each other. And the Lord just used it in a really cool way to do something brand new. I know in our world. So it was really encouraging for us.
And from a practical side, you got to go home every night after the show.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was just right down the street. We're right here in Nashville. We're actually in Abby's living room. So we set it up all right there, and we all just got to connect, and we got to invite a lot of our friends. I mean, as you know, a lot of people in our industry live right here in Nashville area, and so we got to invite a bunch of awesome friends and other Christian music guests to come play some songs and just join us. And so it was just a really fun and unique experience. So we really want to keep it going, even when we get to go back out on the road. We're hoping to keep this thing rolling and connect with people online more. So, yeah.
Now, I will say that, yes, we're all excited about everybody being back on the road. However, I did notice that it looks like you might have an issue about actually playing right at the moment. What's going on with your hand there?
Yeah, this is not a fashion statement. I'm busted. I broke my very first bone. I had the doctors color pretty pictures on it. No, they didn't. This was actually my kids. My kids colored on it for me. It says, "I love you, Dad, and I hope you feel better." But I was riding my quad actually out in the back of our property. Like I told you, we moved out about an hour outside of Nashville. So we're on a little bit more land, which has been great, just being able to get outside and, not be cooped up inside. But I went and busted my arm on the quad. So I just compressed my wrist. I actually passed out like on the back of the quad, which was super dramatic. Yeah, my son was out there with me, and he full on thought that I died because he's never experienced anything like that before. So I all of a sudden wasn't responding to him. And so I wake up and, I'm laid out on the quad. I'm looking up at the sky, and I just, hear my son screaming my name, "Dad, Dad." And, thought that I was full on gone. So I had to calm him down, and then we had.
I was just saying, a little bird
Sorry,
told me to ask you about the curse of four-wheelers.
Yes, it's been one thing after another, and our manager, I'm guessing, is who you're talking about. There's been a few different instances, but we had the band and our management out to our house to come and hang, and her name's Kat Davis, and Kat was on the back of the quad with my wife, and they rolled a quad down a hill. They were going like they were barely moving, but they were like too far up on this hillside, and that was the problem. Is they weren't like using the gas, and so like there was no forward momentum. They just all of a sudden just rolled, and
just the gravity
poor Kat,
thing.
she like had to. Yeah, gravity is definitely against us these days. So I've been cooped up, man. I'm like, if this COVID thing couldn't be any worse, I have to go and break my arm. Now I feel like I can't do anything that I want to do. So, I mean, I've just been kind of like, okay, God, like I'm done. I'm out. Like I give Uncle, like, what do you want me to do? I'll sit in one place. Speak to me.
That's it. Just sit, just kind of kick back and enjoy. So this time, of course, has been, different for all the folks that we're talking to because they've been home, not on the road. You've got an amazing family. And so what is that like with you when you are on the road? First off, I guess you could tell us. So who's in this picture? Who are we looking at?
Yeah, that's my babe of a wife. Her name's Tori, and my son Micaiah, and he is 7 years old, and my little 3-year-old angel princess. That's Amara Joy, and that's our crew. So that's right in the back of our house there.
So how is it for you and for them when you are out on the road? I mean, most of the time in the Christian music world, we know it's normally a leave Wednesday night, back Monday morning kind of thing, but that's still the better part of the week and the weekend.
Sure. Yeah. It constantly changes too. And sometimes you're doing like one-off shows, and sometimes you're on a tour, and sometimes it's not your tour. So you don't get to make the rules. You just sign up and go. And And like you say, I think we've tried to be over the years, we have tried to be more intentional about what we do say yes to, and thank God we're able to do that. I know in the beginning it was like you just say yes to everything, and you just do everything you can to play anywhere you can, anytime you can. And we definitely still want to do that, but we don't want to do it at the expense of our families and our health. And so, yeah, when we're gone, thankfully, we try not to be gone for more than 10 days at a time, that sort of thing, to be home and connect with our fam. But it's definitely a different thing. I mean, we're gone a lot. And I was just talking to a friend, his name's Vince, and he's with the King and Country guys, and he lives down the road from me. And he was saying, they're out. It was like 290 days or something out of the year. And I haven't even counted myself for us, but gosh, it really does put it in perspective. Like, that's our norm. That's the norm for us, is just being gone. And so flip side, here we are parking it at home for a while.
That's it. I mean, has she looked at you at one point and went, when do you go back out on the road? It's time to, time to go. So
more than one time. Yeah. Like, get out of here.
That's it. Hey, Matt, when you guys have been out on the road, I mean, you started, of course, just like every band does. You form, you start getting out there, and then you move up. You guys are in the place where you're doing the smaller headlining tours now, and you've been on tours. Like, I think probably one of the first times we met you guys with Crowns, when you were the support act on there. Tell me though about those early days. Tell me about that. Like the one clip of the video. Now I know it's your music video, but you guys are in like an old like VW bus from the 80s or something. Were there any of those kind of touring days, like everybody piled into the 15 passenger van and on the road?
Oh yeah. We were rocking the 15 passenger van for, gosh, definitely still the majority of our quote career, several years doing that. And it was like no 4-wheel drive, no all-wheel drive. I remember the very first tour that we went on was the Rock and Worship Road Show. And we were on the road show, but we were not like, we didn't have the luxury of jumping on the tour buses with the rest of the bands. We were the very first band, that's playing with the lights up while people are like still entering the venue. And for the road show, a lot of them were like these, big arena kind of things. So yeah, like you could just imagine, like lights up, the show has not started, nothing has started. They're just like playing other music in the venue. And we're like on the stage, it felt like screaming, like, down here, listen to us. Like, can we play? And then we'd play 15 minutes. We do this for 15 minutes, and then we'd pack up. We'd get back in the van, and we would have to we would sleep in the hotel rooms of the bus drivers for the other bands. So while the concert's going on, the bus drivers are sleeping. Well, after the concert, we would have to wait until 1 a.m., sometimes 2 a.m., wait for the hotel rooms to open up. They're already used, so you have to like change the sheets out and hope that you didn't get like the bad bus driver that like left, hairy guy. We had hairy guy. We had, pizza guy.
Right.
Pizza guy was great because you get like half a pizza that was left over in the room. So,
bonus.
But you'd sleep a few hours, and then we'd have to wake up and we'd have to drive ourselves to the next venue and catch up with the rest of the tour. So that was crazy times. And then we were doing it in winter, and I remember being on the road, and like I said, no 4-wheel drive, 15 passenger van. We're pulling a trailer behind us. We're sleeping either on the bench seats, bouncing like this the whole time, or between seats. And there was one particular storm that we didn't make the show. I remember they canceled the show. They had to cancel the show for the whole tour, but we barely made it to the hotel. We like pulled off this exit. We had one more chain that was like barely hanging on to our back wheel. And I just remember like we barely made it into the parking space of the hotel. And it was just like, we were just so thankful to be alive. And we went down to the Waffle House that was closest to us to grab some food. And it was like the middle of the night. Thankfully, they were still open because they couldn't go home because there was so much snow on the ground.
Right.
It was. This is what we do, I guess.
Yeah, that's what happens. So now you guys are to the point where, you know, you've moved up, you're on the bus, you've got the bus driver, you're doing all that. So that's changed, but you guys have a unique thing in the sense that your band is mixed, male and female, on the same bus. And it's tight quarters. You all have to get you're a band, so hopefully you're all friends and all of this, but it's got to make it a little tricky sometimes. Are there signs posted on the bus like, okay, you don't come back here now, or, red light, green light? What do you guys do?
We actually we don't typically travel in a full size tour bus. We have a Sprinter, and so it's kind of like the middle ground, and there's 4 bunks in the back of that thing, and so we all pretty much know there's more than 4 of us. There's 6 of us that we travel with, so we all pretty much know, okay, this bunk belongs to Abby. Nobody better get in that bunk like that. Like Abby's, really particular. Like everybody has their own thing. So we just try to, like you said, we're forced family. That's what we call it. We are friends, but we're also kind of forced family, living with each other, and making it work. But I really think over the years we have really, really bonded, and we understand each other better than ever. We know how each other reacts and when to leave somebody alone, how each of us kind of recharge and that kind of thing. So we're getting better at it, but yeah, man, it's interesting. Just like any family out there, I guess, it's like you're married to 6 people instead of 1. So
yeah, it is. It's difficult. You have to, at least be able to figure out how you can get along when you're out there and make all those things work. So,
and I also just want to say that's why God created the double stuffed Oreo. That's what keeps us together.
Double. Okay. You gotta unpack that a little bit more. What's that about?
Oh, who doesn't want to unpack a double stuffed Oreo? Come on now. That's the sacred ground. That's the space that keeps us all together. If anybody's like having a bad day or having a rough go, or really missing home, like just go to the store, break open a fresh pack of double stuffed Oreos, and this is what binds us. This is what brings us together as I am they.
All right. Well, now we know. So you know what to expect the next time we do concerts together. So there will be cases of double stuffed Oreos all over the place. So that will win. We will have that happening. And who knows, from this, somebody might send you some. You never know. So Matt, got to ask you about something, just because it's I guess you would say it's kind of your trademark. So we need to know what's with the hats. All the hats, all the different hats, all the cool, so many hats.
Oh man.
Is that something that, when did that start? Was that something that you've always done, like a specific kinds of hats? Or, I mean, they've all just been, there's so many different cool ones just in this picture alone.
Man, I just use it to cover up my ugly head. So, whenever that happened, no, it was. I don't know. Over the years, it's just become a thing for me. And like you said, a lot of people call me Hat Matt. So, in fact, the hat that I'm rocking right now, I don't know if you've heard the story, but this hat has gone through a bus fire. So you can see it didn't once look like this, but we were in a meet and greet, and I remember the lady running in the front door of this church screaming, "The bus is on fire and everybody needs to leave the building." And we were like, "Are you joking?" No, she is not joking. This woman is emotional. So we need to get out of here. So we grab our guitars, we go outside. Sure enough, there are flames shooting out of the windows of the bus. And this Stetson hat was on board that bus. So the brave firefighters came, put out the flames. I went onto the bus, opened the drawer. There was my beloved Stetson. I pulled it out, and I've been rocking it ever since.
Wow.
Much to the dismay of the rest of the band members, because it's still got quite a stench on it. So
it's like, does somebody have a campfire? What is that? That's that smell? Well, Matt, let me, before we're going to wrap up here in a minute with our 5 questions that we do each time, but I do know that you guys have some new music that's coming. So tell us a bit about that.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for asking about that. Bring that up. We are, even with my cast, we are in the studio. We actually just finished our first song off the new record, and it's the title track of the record, and it's called Faithful God. And I don't even know how much of this I'm supposed to say. I'm just pumped about it. So
we won't tell anybody. Go ahead.
We have some brand new music coming out in hopefully just a few months. I know the first song is coming out here in about a month or so. And I could not be more excited about this song. I feel like, the song "Scars for Us" was a big song, and a big kind of mile marker almost. It kind of just told the story of the band, like all in one song. It felt like those last 9-10 years were wrapped up in one song. And it's kind of hard to see where to go, from there when you're in the moment. And then I feel like this next song, Faithful God, I was telling my wife this, just like summarizes again where we're at as a band, where we have been, but where we're at, and how faithful God has been through it all. And really speaks to even the season that we've been walking in, just this crazy 2020 year that we're all living in. But we're thrilled. I feel like this next record is there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of just excitement, joy, and just a lot of messages just on the faithfulness of God. So.
Well, we'll be looking forward to that. And we've, got your website and all the socials we've been running up there, so folks can connect with you guys on all of that, and look forward to that. So, Matt, it's time for 5 questions from the road. So we're going to start with number 1. Other than your Bible and your phone, what's the one thing you don't go on tour without?
Double stuffed Oreos.
I kind of had a feeling that was going to be the answer. Yeah.
Hey.
We'll see if that ends up being another answer to another question. But or
I see my itching brush.
What's that?
My itching brush. I gotta say, my itching brush. I don't know if anybody else has an itching brush.
For your back?
Yeah, it's, for anything that's itching.
All right, itching. We'll have next time. We're gonna have to take a picture of that or something so we can see what that is. But it's going to be a good day when you walk into catering and see what?
I mean, I feel like I could answer all of these the same way so far. I won't say double stuffed Oreos. For me, mac and cheese. Homemade mac and cheese is a glorious thing.
There you go. Uh, Outside of when you get to a show and your load in is beautiful and you've got some time during the day, what's your favorite off-site show activity when you're somewhere? Is there something you go do?
Oh yeah, I go scootering. That's what I do. So you know what? The Mercy Me guys actually were the ones who cued me into this a while back on a tour. And I see them rolling around the venue on these giant scooters. And I'm like, what is this? Where do you get this? And they said, this is a life hack for touring. You have got to get one of these. It's a man-sized, adult-sized razor scooter. And that thing has changed my life. I have put so many miles on that thing, I can't even tell you. So that's where it's at.
Matt, when you're on the road, are you a podcast guy, an audio or book guy, or a playlist guy?
Oh man, I like all of those things. Yeah, if I'm on the road, if I'm in the driver's seat, you're probably going to find me on a podcast. So
Gotcha. You got a favorite right now?
Ooh, can I give a shout out to my wife's? My wife has a podcast and it's actually incredible, and it's called For Eternity and Until by Tori Hein. Go check it out.
All right. Wherever you find your podcast, go get that one. And finally, Matt, like I said, I think we know this, but favorite road snack?
I love how many food-related questions you have really just seen my heart here. Favorite road snack besides double stuffed Oreos has got to be white cheddar Cheez-Its. How about that?
Ooh, white cheddar. Now that is specific. Very cool. Well, Matt, hey, I just want to thank you for taking time with us today. We're looking forward to I Am They back on the road as soon as everybody else can get back on the road. And really appreciate you, Abby, the rest of the band. Please give them our best. And we're really looking forward to seeing you guys on the stage real soon.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mike. Love you, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You got it.
God bless you guys.
Take care. And you know what? We're going to be, we want to thank Matt and just go check out I Am They. It's iamtheyband.com is their website and all their socials, and hit them up. Love those guys. Cannot wait to see them on the stage real soon. So, hey, thank you for being a part of this. We will be back next Wednesday, and I already get to tell you who our special guest is. We've got Jason Roy from Building 429 is going to join us and talk about life on the road and some other cool things from behind the scenes. So I hope that you will join us then next Wednesday at 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, and all the other time zones down the line from that. In the meantime, hit us up on all of our socials. You can follow us on Facebook. We're on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe on our YouTube channel as well. We're all at The Concert Spot on all of those channels and any more that we may find along the way. In the meantime, you have a great week. We will see you next Wednesday on the Concert Spot Live.